Hello and welcome to Ages of SEGA. Today we're going to look at a Jaleco game called Pop Flamer. Pop Flamer is one of those Japanese titles that is completely nonsensical and also completely accurate once you figure out what the game is about. You see, in Pop Flamer, you control a mouse who has a flamethrower and likes to go around popping balloons, thus Pop Flamer. It's a Pac-Man clone of sorts. Now, I said before that Sinbad Mystery is one of the few Pac-Man clones that Sega made. Now, this one, Sega ported it, but they didn't actually make it. Jaleco made it. But this is a kind of cross between Pac-Man and Dig Dug. The kind of monster killing is a little bit more Dig Dug reminiscent, while you still go around trying to collect the balloons, much like you do in Pac-Man through a maze. And the mouse seems to get some kind of sick satisfaction from lighting these monsters on fire, but then again, who doesn't? But I mean, just look at the arcade plaque or marquee. It definitely looks like the mouse is enjoying its time. In fact, I kinda get the feeling that you are the bad guy in this game, and the mouse just seems to be some sort of homicidal maniac who's at a Halloween party with a flamethrower. You know, it's just a guy dressed up in a mouse costume with a bunch of guys dressed up as monsters for Halloween, and this guy is just having a murderous rampage. It's kind of weird. That may not be the Jaleco interpretation, but it's certainly my interpretation of what you're doing in the game. I don't know what that says about me. Now, in terms of play mechanics, the SG-1000 port seems to be a fairly faithful recreation or port of the arcade game. Now, the mazes are completely different, but the play style seems pretty similar. They seem to have the right idea down. It's not like the Capcom arcade to NES type of port where it's like Willow on the arcade is very different than Willow on the NES. And Pop Flamer really seems to be a second attempt at Jaleco's very first arcade game, Naughty Boy. They play very, very similarly. And once again, you kind of seem to play the bad guy in Naughty Boy, at least from my brief interpretation of it, where you just go around throwing blocks at a building till it sets on fire. Lots of pyromaniacs at Jaleco in their early era. Now, I don't know how the arcade game plays for this. I have never played it. But the SG-1000 port, I'm guessing, lost a few things. Especially just given the last few games. Sinbad Mystery seemed to be the first game that really suffered from controls that really didn't work. Now, Yamato had a kind of bad hitbox detection, but that was about it. But then you had Sega Flipper, and that game controlled horribly. This game is not as offensive in terms of controls as Sega Flipper, but it's still not good. The mouse control's fine, but the hitbox on the balloons are not good. The sound and graphics seem on par with other SG-1000 games, and actually pretty similar to the arcade. This was a decent attempt at bringing the arcade home, minus the fact that it seems like the SG-1000 just wasn't able to actually do this full mazes. Playing the game, I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of stuff that, if you go through and actually put the hours into it, you could get a really good game out of it. It seems like a very interesting mix between Pac-Man and Dig Dug. So for that era of games, this would have been a really nice attempt, and something to kind of bring all of the greatness of the previous games together in one, and a pretty valiant attempt. The problem is that the SG-1000 port has a very high difficulty. I'm not sure about the arcade, but mixed with the bad hitbox detection, so on and so forth, it's not that great of a game, but it's not horrendous. I'd probably give it a C-. There's a lot of potential there that I think is actually found in this game. It's just really hard to bear playing for very long to find that potential. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Also, check out the Sega Nerdcast. You can also view other videos of Ages of Sega. The previous SG-1000 video is Video Pinball, and the next one is going to be Head On, a video game to be applied directly to the forehead. Also, keep a lookout for the next system to be shown on Ages of Sega. It's coming very soon.